God, I really believe it. He loves to watch his little cooking shows. Our favorite one is Nick DiGiovanni on YouTube, who's a really cool creator, actually. What he does is he'll be like, okay, I cooked a $100,000 steak and a $1 steak. Which one was better? And or I tried all of these kitchen gadgets or whatever. Total Taurus. I took one look at this good looking creator. I was like, that guy's a Taurus for sure. And he is. My son is also a Taurus, but I was thinking that we could put like a cooking show together, because he's been cooking basically his whole life. And I know you guys know this because I say this all the time, but like, I was really afraid to have kids, but I used to be a nanny. And I also taught cooking classes to children as well at a culinary academy called Miet in Greenwich Village. And what's the date today, Saraswati? What's the date? Oh, the 9th. Okay, thank you. Let me just make sure I've got this on the right one. Okay, QA is done. We'll start there. But I was just afraid to be a mom because I only knew my mom. But then after teaching cooking classes to kids and seeing how much they loved it, and seeing how even very picky eaters would be really happy to eat something that they helped make, and how like much more sensible it was for my mind to, instead of buying Play-Doh and a Play-Doh machine, let's just make pasta dough with a pasta machine. I really wanted to share that love of cooking with my kids. And not all kids are into it, but it's like I knew that my son Reiner was coming, because cooking is something that he and I really do together. And it's always fun. It's funny too, because he'll get kind of fussy about food, but he'll go through a food phase. And when he's in a food phase, like some people talk about picky eaters and say, okay, my kid's in a food phase where he'll only eat, like chicken nuggets or something. My son will go through a food phase where all he'll eat is like halibut with a cornmeal crust and a caper butter sauce. It's like very specific. For the kitchen nerds out there, it's a halibut with a little caper beurre blanc. So I love that about him, and I love that for him. All right, let's get into some questions. For everybody watching, this is Q&A on Safehouse. For everybody listening on our podcast, this is Q&A on Safehouse. We do Q&A. Depending on the volume of students, we can either do it live or we do it a little bit via voice memo all throughout the week. Everybody that is here and asking questions are enrolled in various workshops. Hardly anyone is ever doing the same workshop at the same, the same curriculum at the same time, although there's many students that are doing the same workshop at the same time. Usually the majority of the questions will be around whatever workshop we're running now. And this is the last little span of time before we go into my teacher training, which begins on the 12th. That's Wheels Reinvented, which is a coaching certification in a box, but also a consistent pushing you out of the closet as a life coach, in as non-embarrassing of a way as it can happen, because we've all seen that embarrassing transition of coming out as a life coach, and we are here to help everybody avoid that. And to open up, I did some onboarding with a student today, and we get a student like this every now and then. I'd say probably every 25 students, there's someone who's like, I don't want to be on social media. I want to have a business. I want to sell online courses, but I don't want to be on social media. It's this, it's that, and the other. And I always need to dive into this with people, so I figured we might as well talk about it once and for all so that I don't have to have this conversation with people more. If you are one of these people that doesn't want to be on social media, I need you to articulate, write it down, speak it in our chat, say it out loud to yourself, but I need you to articulate what it is that you believe about social media. Like, social media is so bad. Social media is taking your data. People are jerking off to photos of your children. People are doing this. AI is taking over. You're becoming this, you're becoming that. Whatever the belief is that you have about social media, I'd like you to articulate what that is. And then I would like to ask you, like, how do you think everybody that's on social media is going to be punished for these rules that you've literally invented? These are like your rules about social media. So if you think that people are going to be harvested for their organs, targeted for kidnapping, whatever it is, everybody's got a different set of reasons why, but you've got a lot of bullshit in your mind that's going unchecked. A lot of bullshit in your mind that's going unchecked. So we're just checking it. You're more than welcome to hold on to these beliefs if you want. But what do you think is going to happen to everybody else that's not going to happen to you? And how, in a way, are you fantasizing with your favorite creators, which I might be one of? How are you fantasizing about this punishment that's coming for us? And how is this punishment fantasy being rebranded in your mind as like a very wholesome concern? Because it's not. It's a fantasy punishment, and everybody has that in the exoteric. Like, you're obsessed with the idea of someone else going to hell. You're obsessed with the idea of somebody else getting karma. But then we're taking this same like bullshit world and putting it into this fear about social media, this fear that's like literally keeping you stuck. Now, is social media a requirement for doing business? If you're selling online educational courses, yes. Yes, absolutely. And here's why. In the age of AI, any robot can queef out a course. Your social media exists to develop trust between you, the expert, and the customer who it is that you want to sell to. Now, you can't have a belief about social media and use it a little bit just for like an ad account or something like that, because first of all, it won't work. Second of all, you are making things for a customer that you're fantasizing about them not succeeding and getting punishment. You kind of have this thing of like, oh, all these idiots on social media, I'm going to go and take these idiots' money and just keep moving on with my life. It doesn't work like that. You actually have to love your customer. And you can't engage on social media like a little bit. You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. But people don't buy from people they don't know. People don't buy from people they don't know. You'll get a lot of people approaching you about making courses and stuff that are like, as long as you have an ad account, we can make it work. You have to decide, do you want to be somebody that dupes people into paying you one time? You trick them into buying your product, even though it's shit and they never buy from you again? And do you want your name attached to that, some shitty one-off product that you're never going to buy again? Or do you want people to collect everything that you have, like Apple, where you have developed a reputation for such good, functional, easy to use products that people will wait in line to be the first person to buy it, not because it's a discount. No, it's more expensive than ever. People will wait in line to buy it. People will buy tickets to watch your product launch. This is what happens when you built a trustworthy brand. Now, trust is built little by little, and you can't be some fucking two-post weirdo on the internet spending 40 grand in ads and expect that to work. Because let's say you're selling an online educational course. Here's how you make jewelry. The first thing people say is, well, are you making jewelry? And this is, a lot of times when I post about like success or money or making music or something like that, people will like come and freak out at me on the comments about like how I'm so wrong and stuff. And I'm like, dude, anytime you post on the internet anywhere, you need to understand that like you better be an expert in the field, because if you're saying you're such a loser, you have a face tattoo, you'll never make money, you'll never be successful, we're going to go and look at your page and see like, are you successful? A lot of times, some of the meanest comments I've got have been from people that literally live in tents for whatever reason, saying that like I haven't figured things out, and that's fine. But everything that you post on the internet like can be traced back to you. So if you're telling somebody I have a jewelry making course and they go and look at your social media and there's nothing there, there's no trust. So you're literally wasting your money on advertising. All of this because you have some belief about social media that you've installed and you've created and you're fantasizing about. And when you see people that are succeeding, there's all the Vishuddha chakra. When you see people succeeding on social media, you have to poison it. Well, someone somewhere is jerking off to their kids. You got receipts for that? You got receipts for that? No, you don't, because you're never going to be able to prove it. But seeing yourself as this like superior person because you're not on social media while hoping everybody else gets dragged so that your belief can be right, that's fucked up thinking. And the truth is that there is no such thing as a superiority complex. You're in this whole world of jealousy and poisoning. Oh, where they're going to go to hell for this. It's all coming from religious conditioning. It's all right. But it's time to change it. They're all going to hell. This is going to happen. It's all a lie. Now, why do we have this lie in the first place? Because that's how the Vishuddha chakra works. You want something they have. They have a huge following. Nobody that says, I'm not going to do social media has never been on social media before. They were on social media. They couldn't figure out why they only had 115 followers when they were, posting really good pictures of the beets that they grew with 10 filters on them. They can't figure out. They got pissed off because they were on social media. They didn't blow up. They didn't go viral. They can't figure out why. And now they're like, oh, well, you know what? Good thing I'm not on social media because everyone there is going to hell. Whatever that hell of your definition is of what happens to people that post on social media. So you see these people that are blowing up, you're poisoning everything that's going on with them because they have something you want. They've blown up. They're showing up authentically. They're doing things on their own term, and they're using social media as a way to generate sales. If you don't have social media, you need to open a brick and mortar. So what's it going to be? Run the numbers. Actually, figure out what it's going to cost. You should, and if you have a brick and mortar, you should definitely have social media as well, because people check you out on social media. They don't just show up at your doorstep anymore. Now, these people have something that you want and you can't accept that. So you're trying to tell yourself that you don't want it and that you're such a good person because you don't want it. And you're deluding yourself into thinking that you actually have a superiority complex here, when actually what's at the root of it is an inferiority complex. You're jealous of these people. You think that they have something you won't. Jealousy is believing that they have something that should be yours. Envy is they have it, I'm willing to work to get it because I really want what they have. Envy is very useful. Jealousy is you think that what they have belongs to you. Envy makes somebody work really hard to get the Maserati. Jealousy is when a best friend throws acid on the other friend's face. Jealousy is very toxic, and that's what's at the root of this. So you're like, oh, well, I'm so much better than these people that are posting on social media. No, actually, what's really going on inside of you is you feel completely rejected and inferior, and you're trying to make yourself feel better about it by constructing an entire version of hell and pushing that hell story onto people that you don't know, that also don't know about you. Meanwhile, you're not making $1 in your business. Meanwhile, your business plan is seriously flawed. Meanwhile, other people are getting what you could be getting if you could just admit that you wanted it. So I've seen a lot of people try and run online businesses without social media. This is the era that we're in. People that go offline, they always take about a year and you get these really emails, oh, I'm just so present now, and fuck Mark Zuckerberg, and fuck this, and I'm doing a lot of podcasts and this and that. Within 1 year, they're all back on social media. Now, why are they all back on social media? Because social media in the right hands is a really, really valuable tool. Now, it's for you to decide if your hands are going to be right for it or not. When I came on social media, I did it with the mission of I was going to educate people every single day in some way. When social media came along and I got an iPhone literally for Instagram, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be able to start a business without having to buy a business front in New York. That's really cool. I'm going to post one thing for my business every single day and see what happens. Started as nutrition coaching, started as yoga, and morphed into something else. Hey, thanks a lot. I just woke up. But in the right hands, it's a really powerful tool. So I want you just to examine that. And also for the people that get extra sensitive, it's just a trend that's kind of coming and going pretty fast. For people that get extra sensitive about oh my God, you shouldn't post your kids on social media. I'm so happy that Billie Eilish's mom let her post herself on social media. I'm so grateful that Billie Eilish's mom let her post herself on social media. When I see Northwest doing whatever she wants creatively, I'm so happy that her parents let her put herself on social media. And then on the other side of it, I love that Blue Ivy is when she decides to start her own social media, when her parents sign off on that, she will have a bajillion followers just waiting for her because they've seen her talent on stage. They've seen her talent, and she'll have never had to absorb, uh, the public eye in that way. Even though everybody bullied Blue Ivy when she was a baby because they said she was such an ugly baby, they're all like, oh, she's so beautiful now. So even then, you can't like spare your children. You can't spare your children from vitriol on the internet. But I just want you to define for yourself. So let's recap what the work is to do there. Pure, I think we can find maybe a part 1, part 2, but we won't go more than part 2 on a short from there. All I really want to tell people in that video is get clear about why it is that you're hoping that other people fail on social media, and what story you've told yourself about social media, and what's at the root of this. What's at the root of this is a major inferiority complex, and it's all coming from jealousy. If it has to be we'll try and make it one video, less than 3 minutes, ideally 90 seconds, but you work your magic there. All right, ready for some questions? Gosh, I have to sit on this ball because my daughter is going to come up and I need to bounce her to sleep. But it's hard on my back and my shoulders. I got one of those TikTok like posture corrector things, but I put it in the washing machine one time and it was like unrecognizable when it came out. Okay, so you said I'm not being vulnerable with my audience. Now, something what we got to know about teachers, and before I go into this question, teachers don't listen to the words that you're saying. They listen to how something feels. And for somebody that's not super experienced in this, they're going to be like, well, no, because technically I texted this and I said this thing. But a teacher can feel the energy of something right away. And that's what they're responding to, is the energy that it's been sent out on. So it doesn't matter how much you like mince words and say, okay, well, this or this, and I said this right here, and technically it wasn't anything. The teacher can always feel. And when the teacher feels something is either on or off, that's the nature in which they respond. Now, when you're early in your business, when you're in the exoteric and you take the energy people come to you with personally, then it's very like, you're crafting your response. The idea of coming and doing Q&A unrehearsed is like not possible, because everything's a well-crafted response. The same way they sugar-coated their insult. I'm not saying that this is this question here, but the same way that they sugarcoat their insult so that you swallow it, not realizing it's an insult. People do this all the time. I agree with what you're saying, except for I really disagree with what you're saying, and blah, 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 like all that. When you're early in your career, you take their perfectly crafted assault and you create a perfectly crafted defense. And it's just war, it's not. If you can read, Idris Shah says, it doesn't matter what they're saying, it matters how they're saying it. Are they speaking behind somebody's back? Are they showing up in your DMs for coaching advice when that's not something that you do? Are they dropping unsolicited parenting advice on you in response to something that said, don't give me unsolicited parenting advice right now? It doesn't matter what they say, it matters how they're saying it. Now, in the world of text and nothing dies on the internet and all of that, it can seem like a good idea. And when you're in that first level of teaching, everyone thinks they're a level higher than they are. But if you're in that first level of teaching, you just can't help it. They do a perfectly crafted assault, you do a perfectly crafted defense. But if you are transitioning, meaning you understand that what works for you doesn't work for other people necessarily, you really understand this. And if you really understand this as a teacher, there's a fucking mountain of work ahead of you that you are like slowly working yourself through. It's not, I wonder what I'm going to study after this. It's like, oh, fuck me. If I want to do this, I got to get all this shit right with myself and right with my teachings. So if you're transitioning, I'm going to invite you to put a new filter in for yourself where you practice taking the temperature of how something feels before just responding to it. So I'm not saying that this is what's up on this, but I've healed. Okay, so I don't know. You said I'm not being vulnerable with my audience and that's why they aren't responding to me. Funny, I feel vulnerable, but this isn't the time I've heard this. So for clarity, I share what I've healed and I share what I'm learning, but not my insecurities. This is where I feel in the mud. For example, I've healed a lot around my body image yet I still struggle a bit. Is that what I share, how I've healed my relationship with my story, but I don't share that I still feel fat sometimes? Or do I share that I still feel fat sometimes, but I love myself more than I feel fat, so I healed it? So this is that whole world of like, am I sharing my mess or my message? When you're stuck on something as a teacher, the way through is to talk about it. When you're stuck on like, I don't know, the way through is to talk about it. Now, before you get to the end of it, the pieces that you needed to hear will arrive, because you're really good at giving advice to others, but you're not good at directing that same advice to you. So when you turn it around and you say, I'm going to try and help people through this, I'm going to get really vulnerable. And this is always scary, because there's always something like, it's been various things for me. A long time ago in the exoteric, it was politics. I was pretending like I didn't know what was going on politically when I knew exactly what was going on politically. I just didn't want to talk about it. Then it turned into unschooling. Anything parenting at all has been probably the hardest. Discipline, my history with discipline, all of these things. And these were places that I needed to learn and grow more. But when you're insecure about something, talk about it and see what happens. It's okay to be insecure. It's okay to not have things figured out. This is the best advice that I can give you without looking at your social media. It's vague, but I would need to see it. I don't want to make any assumptions off of that. But to make it, because here's the problem. So here's the energy with this message. I'm following exactly what you're telling me to do, and it's not working. This is not what we want. We want something that feels right for you. That feels right for you. So in Fuckless, we talk about like, what are you not allowed to talk about? And why are you not allowed to talk about it? I want you to just stay percolating right here. What do you think you would be abandoned for if you opened your mouth to speak about it? Because it's not, you need to constantly be like applying this to your own sense of direction, to what feels right for you. It's not going to be enough to say this is the formula. We have to really live in the questions, because a question is objective. It works for everybody. The answer that comes forward is subjective, meaning it's going to be something that works for you. So this formula of like, do I talk about, feeling fat or not? This is giving a man a fish. What we want to do is teach you how to fish, because you're only going to become more confused and more frantic when you're trying to do it like somebody else says and not how you feel. So I want you to just take one example. What are you not allowed to talk about? This was Fuckless, I think lesson 1 or 2. What are you not allowed to talk about, and why are you not allowed to talk about it? What do you think will happen? There's going to be so much bullshit that's lingering around at base camp. So much bullshit. And what we want to do is bring that to the surface so that you can see what it is that's actually blocking you. So Saraswati, if we can get a timestamp on that, I forgot to do a voice memo for my friend here. Hi, Onami. Do you have any tips for getting through a roadblock of self-sabotaging procrastination? Just overall shitty behavior of resisting so heavily. Again, launching my course. I'm obviously at 0.5, lesson 6 in Fuckless. I've been feeling stuck here for a month and feeling it over. I'm going to have to abbreviate this question a little bit. Hopefully I'm answering this question enough. It's hard for me to isolate the question in here. But so yes, 0.6 is always putting it out into the world. And the reason why we don't put it out into the world officially, hey, it's time to pay me now, until 0.6 is because we've spent 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, and 0.5 talking about it with the audience, discussing it. It's become collaborative. If we haven't talked to our audience about this at all, we've just been making it behind closed doors, it's gonna feel exactly like this, like super scary to put out. Now, if we're doing like what we talk about in Fuckless, talking to your audience about this, doing your market research, engaging with your audience, stalking your audience and figuring out what they need, using magic questions to find out what they need, and making sure that there is an audience for this, then presenting, this is what I made for you, is the next right step. Now, if we haven't done this because we would prefer to assume because we would prefer to assume we've drafted a customer avatar based on the idiot that we think might pay us and not like actual people, not the people that we're following, then it's going to feel really scary. It's not going to feel like the next right step. How we want product launches to go is I've been working on this with you and for you since point one, and now it's ready and I can't wait to show you. So make sure that you follow those steps of doing market research. If you haven't, just come and let me know. Hey, I haven't done my steps on market research. There's not going to be a shortcut to doing this. Basically, we're just going to have to use your 3-line and say, you know what? I fucked up. I was making this behind closed doors. I didn't find out if any of you guys want this. So for the next 21 days at the very minimum, I'm going to be talking about how I came to this work, what I'm doing, and why I think you might want it. And you guys are going to tell me what your problems are and not what I assume they are. It's all written in Ckless. So someone here says, do you keep repeating the questions? No, my love. This is the Safehouse Q&A. So Safehouse is the private school that I run with my husband. It's an occult business school. 50% business and 50% magic. If you want to ask questions, you have to be a student. Hi, Onami. My father died recently, very sorry, and he left me a chunk of money. I've never had this much money at one time. It's bringing up a lot of money anxiety. I'm afraid of spending it. I'm afraid of losing it. My husband thinks I should put some in the market, but I don't have a connection to that. I don't trust that. How can I heal this money anxiety, and what is the best thing I can do with this money that works for me? So first of all, I can't take financial advice from anybody because they all have some fucking idea of how I should be spending it. Whether it's like, you need to get into commercial real estate, or you need to get into Bitcoin, or you need to get, and nobody fucking knows. Literally nobody fucking knows. Everybody just does the thing that feels right for them. Some people are like stock market, stock market, stock market. Other people are like real estate. Other people are art. Other people are gold. Other people are vehicles. Other people are crypto. And it's okay to choose what works for you. Now, I just met with a financial advisor a little while ago, and what I figured out from that time is that like there's nobody in the world that I can be like, take my money, I trust you. Unless I completely understand how that market works for myself. If I completely understand how something works for myself, I'm probably going to fucking do it myself so that I don't have anyone else to blame but myself. Now, yes, I understand that if I wanted to put money in the stock market and I'm not interested in learning that, then it might be wise to hire somebody that does, or I could just not put my money in the stock market. I could do something else with it. Now, what you're experiencing here is not money anxiety, it's money fear. I have it and it's going to be taken away. And I totally, why wouldn't you feel this way? You've never had this amount of money before. It probably feels pretty crazy. And also it's like, hasn't changed that much about your day-to-day life. Now you just have a whole bunch of numbers where there used to not be a whole bunch of numbers, and it's making you feel really crazy. It showed up out of the blue. Therefore, it could disappear out of the blue, right? This is just what happened. This is why actually a lot of people, it's like 1 out of, or I think it's 4 out of 5 actually, that win the lottery end up filing for bankruptcy within the first 5 years, is because you're not built to hold it. Now you can be built to hold it. This has your name on it and it is your birthright. The protocol for healing fear is that action cures fear. So you don't have to, it doesn't matter what your husband tells you. What feels right for you? Do you want to invest it in your own business? What makes sense to you? Real estate, art? You also don't have to spend it. You can just keep it. It hasn't changed anything about your day-to-day life. Now you just have the support of it when you want it. But is there a significant upgrade that you've been wanting in your life? For me, and this is actually a fact, your business is always going to produce the highest returns. If you don't have a business and you don't want to start a business, then getting 8 to 10% returns from the stock market is good because it's better than it just sitting. Getting a high yield savings account is better than it just sitting. But if you are interested at all in starting a business, make sure that you have a profitable business plan first, that the business plan is viable. This could take you an entire year. But that's going to produce 200 to 300% returns. So when you don't know what to do, it's okay to wait. But if you're experiencing a lot of fear, what are 3 action steps that you can take to make yourself feel less fearful here? You could try getting 3 different books on investing. You could get one on crypto, you could get one on real estate, you could get one on entrepreneurship. And just saying, okay, I don't know how to invest money yet, but I'm going to have something that I feel good about. I'm not going to have something someone else told me to do. And then if I take financial advice from somebody that wasn't me, then I'm like, oh my God, why did I listen to somebody's uncle over the fucking bean dip, you know? Now I've got a fucking can or whatever water filter, and my business plan sucks. You can decide that you're going to have an investment strategy that feels good for you. No, you don't have one right now, but you can educate yourself. What are 3 forms of education that you can give yourself to feel better in this situation? And I'm sorry about your dad. Somebody responded and said, someone says, oh, I know exactly how you handle this. That's not true. So I just have to add on this that you have a comment right away that says, oh, I know exactly how you handle this. They don't know exactly how you handle this. They know exactly how they would handle this based on what they feel good about. And everybody that has their investment strategy says, no, this is the best way. This is the one way. When you find the one that works for you, it will feel like the one way forward for you. Everybody said, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. You gotta do this. And they're so fucking compelling, right? They're so convincing. You gotta do this, because people show up with their like authority, right? And they're like, this is what you need. Here's my data points. Here's this and that. I love it when people do this with Bitcoin, especially because it's like Bitcoin is either a new form of currency, which has all of this appeal, and it's like everything has 2 sides. So if it's a new form of currency, it doesn't have history. The history is still being written. And I love it when people are like, Bitcoin is this brand new thing, but also its history is this. What do you mean it's history? It's like fucking 10-year history. That's not history. That's not history. We don't know yet. We're figuring it out. Things are changing all the time. Like with Airbnb, New York changed the laws on Airbnb so fast to be really, really crazy, but it was actually really good for the city because so many people from like China and stuff were buying places just to have them be short-term rentals. And getting an apartment in New York is really hard. So it's good that they cracked down on this. But basically, they changed the legislation in New York to where you can't get an Airbnb unless the person that owns the apartment is residing there in the apartment. So you can only Airbnb if there's a roommate. Now that's gnarly, that's gnarly. That's a big thing to change, but everybody's like Airbnb and the history with Airbnb and this is what it does. It's either new or it has history, but it can't be both. So if you're the type of person that loves innovation and trying something new, then you might want to jump on board with some of these new things and you're willing to take the risk that comes along with something like that because it's new. And it has all of its reasons. Now, if you're somebody that is more risk averse, you might like something that you're more familiar with. For example, real estate. You're like, this makes sense to me. People always need houses. People always need land. So it's going to be different for everybody. If you can answer this next question here from the same person, Saraswati, I want to do Wheels teacher training. I'm answering it anyway. So if you're on Safehouse, then yes, you have access to teacher training. We have our first business call on the 12th of May. Ideally, you will have completed chapters 1, 2, and 3 and done the case study call and your trauma healing process from the Muladhara chakra. This would be the best for you. If not, you can be at the most a week behind, and it's not really behind. You could show up on the 12th for the case study call and then catch up on everything Muladhara the week of the 12th to the 19th. But most of the people that show up are going to have already read the Muladhara, already done the case study call, and already done their trauma process by the time they show up on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern for our first business and coaching call. So that's that. I've been taking steps to stop that. Good job. Proud of you. All right. Next. Onami, I've used Instagram as my main marketing channel for years, and the March algorithm change tanked my reach, and it's killing my confidence since my sales are way lower because of it. Should I switch platforms? Should I try to be the algorithm's bitch? Should I try to be more interesting? I transitioned from selling $3 to $10,000 offers to $25 to $9.99 offers last year, so I need the volume. Yeah, so that's a difficult transition, and also until you're financially steady, you might want to keep the doors open for that 3 to 10. You know, that's a big drop, but you might want to still keep the doors open for those 3 to 10K offerings while you're stabilizing. So we've talked about this before. Saraswati, let me know if we have a resource for this somewhere. Oh, we do have a resource. It's in Fuckless in the FAQs. It's about switching platforms. Saraswati will link this out for you. And Saraswati, tell me at the end if I didn't make this resource, but I'm pretty sure it's in the marketing hacks at the bottom. Is it time for me to switch platforms? Please let me know. And I know we have something like that, Saraswati, but do me a favor and send me a text if it is, and I'll come back and answer this. Someone just joined with the name Soren, and I love that name. Hi, Onami. In the Money Blocks YouTube video, you mentioned thank you so much for asking me this question. You mentioned to stop doing work for free or bartering. What about me facilitating a practice session? What if the other person's job is not spiritual? For example, helping with graphic design tasks and not accepting charging for it. Am I blocking her? Well, thank you. So thank you so much for opening up this conversation, because I was really going through this myself this week. Basically, there were 2 kind of bartering opportunities that came up, and I had to really look them straight on. So for example, our bathroom renovation was going to cost $35,000. We're selling our truck also for $35,000. The person renovating the bathroom needs a truck and likes ours, so it was well, maybe we can just trade. But I just don't do trades because bartering is a money block. Now, I'm very happy to share this with you guys, but something that I was it was going to put this book money towards jewelry. And I wanted to do something a little bit bigger and aim a little bit higher. And so actually a lot of things have lined up, but I'm getting a commissioned portrait of my family from an artist that I've loved for a really long time, who's also a friend of mine. And she's going through something right now in regards to course creation. And I was like, I can definitely help you out with that, just because it was a timely situation and didn't feel very hard for me. I recorded her a little 20-minute YouTube video and sent it for her. Here's what is entailed. Now, I didn't put a price on it because honestly, here in my neighborhood, people ask me for help with stuff all the time. And here in my neighborhood and for my friends and stuff, it's just a perk of being my friend is I'll get, of course, we talk about things. You can talk to me about business advice. I'm not the type of person, because I love to talk about it. Now, if somebody said, hey, Onami, I want to do trauma work with you, I'd say absolutely not. But for the most part with business things, especially with moms, I'm you can fucking do it. Do it. Okay, cool, Saraswati, we got that resource. Perfect. So just send it to her. But I was it didn't feel like an overextension on my part. Now, am I expecting a discount from her for the painting that I commissioned? It's a $25,000 painting. Am I expecting a discount for it? I don't know. I'll be happy if I get a little something, but also I'll pay full price for it, because for me, 20 minutes of my time is I'm not crazy about that. I'm rooting for her. I've been rooting for her a long time. Really simple to put these things in order. And I told her, if you need more resources for me, I told her the things that I didn't feel like overextending myself. But if I had to repeat myself about questions I answer all the time, I told her in Safehouse and authorship specifically, you can get these pieces that you need. It's no problem. I didn't do anything that felt like I just talked to her like I was talking to a friend. And so we'll see what happens. But either way, I'm not expecting something in return for that. So it is what it is. But all of that to say, I had the opportunity to barter for both of these things, and I'm really happy that I didn't, because it's never inconvenient to pay each other. And I'm a lot more experienced with this than you are. I'm going to put in for you 0 bartering for you is the answer. 0 bartering. It's not inconvenient to pay each other. And you need to be especially careful with this with spiritual work, because you're going to give people spiritual advice. They're probably going to chew 80% of it, apply 10% of it. And they're going to feel, something that you're like, okay, well, this was a $200 session. They're going to say, yeah, but I only used $20 of it. And then you're going to be in a very uncomfortable conversation about the value of your work, because you allowed somebody to make your pricing their definition of what you're worth. When you let other people define your value, you're going to get lowballed each and every time. No bartering. This is what it is. This is what it costs. And I cannot continue to contribute to the undervaluing of artists, of spiritual teachers, of psychics, of energy healers. I can't continue to contribute to the undervaluing of this industry. It is against my spiritual contract to barter. Thank you. And we just tell people it's never inconvenient to pay each other. I think that's a good one too, Pure. My husband's doing so good with all 3 kids right now, right? Don't ever take my coffee away, you guys. I did a year without coffee one time, and it was really cool. Like, don't get me wrong. It was really cool. But I like getting fucked up. When I don't have small kids, I'll be willing to give up coffee. When I'm in my art era, which is probably gonna happen in my 50s, when I'm in my art era, I will give up coffee. And I'll do my little ink paintings. Oh, someone in my chat says, I'm an energy healer and I only barter. I only barter when what, motherfucker? When what? Let's see. I'm a massage therapist. Oh, you're going to be on the hot seat with me. I'm a massage therapist. I only barter session for session with other session-based workers, tattooers, body workers, energy workers, etc. No. Literally no. Literally no. You as a massage therapist charge what you charge because of how good you are at it. So you're telling me that if your massages cost $250 for 90 minutes and you stand on that because it's so good, that you'll swap with somebody charging $180? Or let's say they're charging $350 and they're swapping with you for a $250 service. What are you guys all just in the funny money business where it's not about a greater service, it's just whatever? What's the point of establishing your pricing? And why? When you guys are in an industry where so many people want to barter with you for fucking bullshit, you are setting an example for other people that they should continue to undervalue themselves. Now, are you doing so well financially that you don't need to be concerned with one of the most substantial money blocks that people get? Seriously, one of the most substantial money blocks that somebody else gets, that everybody gets. Are you doing so well financially that you don't have to worry about this? And what example is this sending to every single person that you're bartering with? If you injure yourself, are you going to be able to pay with massages for the recovery time that's needed for your injury? Tattooers, body workers, energy workers, developing your pricing. And you should also know that when you're doing anything with your hands, you have a very hard business to scale. So financial issues, things that people in education or other stuff will deal with, like the scaling of their business, it's going to be way easier. If you want to stay as a hands-on business, you have to hire more hands. You have to become a leader. You have to get more space. It's a hard thing to scale. So I'm telling you for a fact, you are not doing well enough financially because of the longevity of your business. You are not doing well enough financially to be able to sustain bartering with other people. You came to your pricing because of how good you are at what you do. Every time you barter with something or someone, you are negotiating on that value. Why not just pay each other? This is a tattoo that's $50. This is a massage that's $250. This is the whole point of having money, so we can create clarity around the value of something, a shared clarity, not You gave me a tattoo, but it was kind of ugly compared to your other work. Therefore, I don't think it should have been this price per hour. And I'm going to move on like this. Seriously. Okay, there we go. So no more bartering. And you can tell people when they say to you, would you like to barter for this? Say, you and I both know that people are always trying to do trades and we can't pay our rent in trades. I want to be an example for people that like, we are in the money business. Someone says, I got the ugliest tattoo with a barter. Yeah, I bet. I did a barter for getting my hair dyed with an amazing colorist, and she forgot the dye on my hair, and I was supposed to be a beautiful chocolate brown. This is when I had bleached my hair, and I had black hair, and I was so fucking mad about it because the barter, they didn't value it. They didn't value it because they didn't see me as a real customer. I want to be seen as a real customer. Therefore, I'm willing to pay real money. But you need to be an example in your industry because all of these people are wanting to get out of barters, but they don't know how when they're constantly inundated with barter invitations. You have to set an example. We don't barter. We don't barter. Now, this was something complicated for me because somebody was coming to me for business advice, but it's a friend of mine, and it's like, I'm so happy to do it. I'm so happy to do it, especially from people that I respect their opinions as well. So for example, I have a friend that I go to for mentoring about unschooling. She doesn't offer one-on-one on unschooling. I don't offer one-on-one on business. But we can talk to each other. I can ask her questions to make me feel more solid as a parent, and she can ask me questions to get more solid in business. Some things that I do is like maybe I can, if I want to give somebody advice, I'll ask them if I can record it and share it with my whole audience. But bartering doesn't work. So for example, I've given this person 20 minutes of my business advice, but I didn't say, I now want this back from you. It wasn't a barter. I gave it. I just gave it. I don't loan people money. I just give it. So if I wouldn't feel comfortable just giving it, then it's not something that I do. And that rearranged for me because with this person, I was like, you know what? I'm going to book a 90 minutes of my lifetime. I'm going to sit you and your business partner down, and we're going to talk about what the business strategy is going forward. That would be really serious work for me. 20 minutes of recording you a video is not a lot of work for me. Yeah, gifting is something, just give it to somebody. If you're not expecting anything in return, that's fine. Never turn down a generous impulse. Go for it. But bartering, no, I give you this, so you have to give me this. No, don't do it. Don't do it. And especially, so I asked someone, are you in such good financial standing that you can do this? Some people might say, yeah, I am in such good financial standing. Watch it even closer. Because a money block, let's say that a money block opens a 1-inch hole in your business. If your business is holding millions of dollars, that 1-inch hole is going to hemorrhage hundreds of thousands of dollars. If your business container has a 1-inch hole, but it's valued at $100,000, that hole is going to hemorrhage thousands of dollars, but it's going to be proportionate to the total volume of the business. You have more, there's going to be more to lose by playing around with these 8 core money blocks. If you want to know what these 8 core money blocks are, please go to my YouTube and watch the 8 most common money blocks that everybody gets. I'm sure when we make that into a short, we'll add that call to action at the end. 35 years of one-on-one experience, currently in Wheels, but going to start again with the group as it works better for me. Questions: can I teach chakra work even though I've not healed my own yet? I have a client ready to heal and I really want to share this potent modality. If you have 35 years of one-on-one experience, then you have more than enough experience to help a one-on-one heal. Now, can you teach somebody what you assume the method is? No, you cannot. Can you teach somebody something from your 35-year database? Yes. Can you assume what's going to be in my teacher training and teach that because you really want to use this new thing you haven't learned yet? Let me just repeat the order back to you. No. So here's two issues here. The first one, no, there's only one issue, that you are not seeing your 35 years of one-on-one experience as being as valuable as it is. You're chasing a second certification. Now, my certification is really fucking good, but with 35 years of one-on-one experience, you have more than enough experience to heal, right? My little baby. Dad, can I nurse that baby a little bit? Hear that baby crying, you know? Daddy, let me try and nurse that little sweet baby a little bit. Oh, my little baby. Oh, my honey. Oh, my honey. Oh, my little honey. You want to answer your questions? Okay, Daddy, no problem. Oh, my little baby. You are such a little baby. You are such a, oh, you're my little baby. My little honey. You're just a little sweet baby, aren't you? You're just a little sweet baby, aren't you? I'm going to do some audio meditations, you guys, where I just talk to you like one of my babies. Oh, you were just like your honey. Honey. Get that titty in your mouth. And I'll release them on OnlyFans on Quinn. Oh, you little baby. Oh, you were laughing, little baby? You were laughing, little baby? You're such a cute little baby. You're such a cute little baby. You guys see? Oh, yeah. Every time I show up for work with one of my kids, I set an example for all of the moms that have internalized this belief that they are less valuable with children. Every time I show up for work with my kids, I set an example to every other mom in the world. You can do it like you. You can do it without trading your business for your success. Every time I show up with my titty out, I am standing for what's 50% of my business name. I'm 50% mommy and 50% Onami. And when I commission this $25,000 painting of my family, it's going to be the new background on my website. You know what that means, honey? Business expense. That's right. I pay actual money. She pays actual money. So we are showing up with our titties out. We are showing up with our babies. The world needs mom energy right now. You know why? Mom lovingly takes no shit. Mom lovingly takes no shit. A mother understands the importance of discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Punishment is wanting somebody to hurt because you think that there's a lesson to be learned in suffering. You say, I learned this through suffering and I'm fine. I want it to hurt. I want to turn the knife. I want to salt the wound. Discipline is relevant consequences that the whole family enjoys. Discipline is boundaries. Look, these are our standards for life. You do this, this happens. You do this, this happens. And if you guys want to know my parenting philosophy, we literally hired Bratbusters Parenting to be our one-on-one coach. She hasn't said anything that I disagree with. I'm in one-on-one coaching with her, my husband and I both. And the reason why it's like, okay, well, why do you hire a coach if their parenting philosophy mirrors yours? It's because she knows more about it than I do. And also, my husband and we need to be on the same, my little love, we need to be on the same page about it. My husband doesn't listen to what I tell him because I'm not his coach. If I tell him to do something, he has to not do it. Also, I was getting a little tired me kind of micromanaging his parenting. So now we're on the same page about it, and I see that as being really valuable. And she's wonderful because she's just one of those people that was just born to do it. You know, she worked with troubled teens, works with difficult children, has a great relationship with her children, had a mom that she really looked up to, all of these things. So she was just born to do it. I come from the opposite side of the tracks. I come from a highly abusive situation and I really don't want to abuse my kids. Therefore, I'm getting mentorship on it. And I just love, she's really, really good. My little baby, my little baby. Yeah, you don't want to have a mommy relationship with your spouse. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because that's that Freudian thing. Everyone wants to unconsciously fuck their moms, because that was the first woman they ever loved. Pure, this might be a good one because people love the, so everybody unconsciously wants to fuck their mother or their father because it was the first male that they ever loved. It was the first female that they ever loved. This is their original love relationship. Now, people that hate their mother-in-laws hate to see this because it's like, oh my God, so confrontational. I remember I had a friend whose husband fucking shat all over her. And her name literally meant dominant. And his name was Dominic. Dominic. She said, look, yes, he shits all over me, but I refuse to be abusive like my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law has him on the shortest leash. He still responds to her all of the time. He's such a mama's boy, and that's because she just had him on a very short leash since he was a child, and I just refuse to be that. I said, honey, you wear those strict Ariana Grande ponytails. Your kids are disciplined like this, and your husband shits all over you. What he is telling you with his behavior is, please give me the same service that my mother has always given me. Keep me on that short leash. Do not let me piss on the floor. Tell me exactly what to fucking do. I need to know it right now. I see you doing it with our kids. I see you doing it in every room you walk into. Why won't you do it with me? Oh, because I have judgments about your mother and I refuse to be her. Now, people don't want to look at this mother kink head on because they're like, oh, it makes them uncomfortable. So you want it to exist, but you don't want to call it out. You don't want to tell somebody, oh, I remind you so much of your mom right now, don't you? Like, no, but it's there and it exists and it's in the collective. So there's no fucking arguing with it. But the thing is that like this guy was absolutely begging to be dominated and he knew she could do it. She reminded him of his mother. That's why he chose her. And she was doing it with everybody else except for him because she didn't want to face that she was exactly like his mother. And that Freud was fucking right. And when you refuse to dominate a submissive person, rest assured, you will have the worst behavior that you've ever seen in your life. She goes salsa dancing with somebody 2 years after their divorce. He calls CPS on her. Behavior like that. So look at your mother-in-law and say, what was she supplying for this person that I'm dating? And how do I do the same exact thing? And how are my judgments of her exactly what I need to cultivate in myself? I didn't say it was easy, but I'm telling you, it's right. I love it. I couldn't be a mom to my partner. Yeah, I get it. Hello. Are you my little precious little one? My little holding baby? I haven't gotten to have a holding baby in so long. Has Daddy been with you all morning long? Has Daddy been with you all morning long? She doesn't actually like my cooing mom voice. She likes my strong mom voice. She likes it when I talk. She likes it when I talk for real. Isn't that right? Can I sing you a little song? My name's Gooey, 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 Gooey. My name's Gooey, my name's Gooey. My name's Gooey, 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 Gooey. My name's Gooey. Oh, you don't like it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to my business voice. You want exactly who you heard before you came out, right? Hi, Onami. I just joined and I'm happy to be here. All right. And don't trust myself. Eating disorder. Okay. Work around this issue. Not being able to stop. Okay, cool. So I see that you're here on the Zoom call. There's a good example. When I can't clearly identify the question, I have to kind of summarize it fast because it would be a long time to just like read the whole question. I kind of have to get to the point. So here's what we have going on in this situation. Addiction is having pain and pleasure confused. So you say, I'm going to smash down this food because I think it's going to bring me so much pleasure. But actually what it does is it brings you pain. It brings you GI issues. It brings you all of this stuff. So then we say, why am I reaching for this food when I'm reaching for it? What do I think, what problem? Oh, look at my little husband peeking out of the back. What do I think that this food is going to bring to me? And so you think it's bringing you pleasure, but actually it's bringing you pain. This is the world of the second chakra. And that's what that is. And also good for you because you mentioned, shame. It's not weight gain, but it can also be weight loss. It's totally fine. My husband is somebody that's always wanting to gain. Hey, baby. Okay, you can sit with mommy like this. I won't sit you like a little baby, okay? Hey, so daddy, Let me ask you something. You've been with this baby. So there's something that we've been talking about this week is it's like that same divine masculine, divine feminine prayer tactic. You guys have heard me talk about this, but it's in the Wheels Reinvented book in the Sahasrara module. But divine masculine is basically praying for the plan that you think it needs to be, and divine feminine is just admitting that you have problems. And when you think about what you need, and this is really hard to do as a parent, but we're going through parenting coaching right now and trying to learn how to make it fit us a little bit more so that we're not trying somebody else's strategy, that it really fits us like a glove. And it's really strange because when things are very chaotic in the home, it's like, oh my God, okay, you need a nap, you need food, these dishes need to be washed, you gotta go to sleep, you gotta get a workout, everybody else, but actually like at the core of it is like you need something. And weirdly, if you just take that minute to take a breath and be like, okay, what do I need in this situation, and pursue that, it sets everybody else in the right order. So Dad, you've been up since really early this morning. I'm not sure, did I walk and bring Gooey to you, or did Wiley come get you?
Wiley went to go poop.
Oh, got it. So you've been with all of the kids for a really long time. I'm verging on almost my 3rd hour alone. What do you need in this situation? What do you need right now?
Need some alone time.
You need some alone time. You want to work out?
Yeah.
Cool. If there's only 30 more minutes that you have to get to before you can work out, how can I make that the most pleasant for you? What would you like to be doing in that time?
Getting food for the kids.
All right, cool. I'll handle Gooey. All you have to do for the next 30 minutes is get food for the kids, and then you can work out. How's that?
Okay. I mean, just holler if you need help with Gooey.
I will be fine. I will make it work no matter what it is.
But,
Have a very nice day.
okay, bye.
That's my husband. He's cool. You know, he's whatever. Repost from another chat. I answered this question. I answered that question there. This person's name is Mittler. Oh, sorry. That's a alias, obviously. Hi, Mommy. I have a question about the early stages of setting up business. If Magic's family didn't lend you money for a house, and if you were doing your business all solo, how would you best have taken the plunge, or were these elements of support part of the design? If Magic's, whoops, sorry. So of course, these elements are all part of the design, but if it was on me, I didn't know that Magic had money, so I was expecting that we were just gonna rent a house. I had never looked into a house for sale before. I didn't know how a mortgage worked. I thought that if you bought a house, you just had $600, $600,000, and you give them a check for $600,000. I had only ever looked at rentals. My husband was the one looking at houses for sale, and he didn't even tell me. But that's how I would have approached it. There's always a way to make it work no matter what. Can you sign up for wheels training if you haven't done ritual yet? Of course. Of course. A lot of people are doing them simultaneously, but get through the lower chakras being Muladhara, Svadhisthana, and Manipura, and familiarizing yourself with that 4 to 5 hour a week workload before you come in and start doing ritual. Because ritual, you have to do what you say you're gonna do. My underarm smells so bad, so good. You know, so good, so bad. I love it. I love the smell of sweat. I love the smell of man too. And I smell like a man right now, so. Hey Mommy, I'm in a super shit time zone. Looks like the Wheels live calls will be 1 to 2 a.m. my time. Will I get the same benefit of watching it back, or should I suck it up and attend at that time? For these business calls, you can absolutely watch it on your own timeline. You're not in a shit time zone. You're in a great time zone. It just doesn't really align with this live schedule. You can do, our live schedule is shit. You'll be fine. How's my little wonder? Would you like to get out of this swad? Swadika. Swadika. There you go. Hi, little one. Look at you. Who do you look like? You look like Gooey. You're my precious little one. You're my precious little one. You gonna sit on Mama's lap? Hey, I have something for you. You wanna see? Hold it from this side, not the pokey side. I love when I sting so much. Yeah. Look at this. Would you like to? Yeah, you're really getting good at holding. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Proud of you. Proud of you. I'm launching one-on-one coaching and I'm using my email sequence as my guide to close the Enneagram on this round. And when I look at data, since I don't have a closed purchase time, you need a closed purchase time. I don't know what you need a closed purchase time. So for example, so like in your lead magnet, it needs to say like, okay, for this month, for this period of time, I'm doing one-on-one sessions at this rate. If you would like to book a session with me, it needs to be within this window of time. Because here's the thing, coaching rates are always going up. Now, what I would do if this is your first round is just price it where they'd be crazy not to buy it. But there needs to be, if there's not some type of a closed cart, there's no incentive to do it. So here's the thing, that coaching client is a one-on, they're an intuitive client. So there's nothing that you can say that'll make it the right time for them if it's not the right time, but you need to have some type of window where you can close the gate on this. So for example, within 3 weeks of being told that this door is open, et cetera, et cetera. Now it doesn't mean that they're gonna come into the sessions within this 3 weeks, but they need to be consistently exposed to the offer so that you can know if it's a no or not. Otherwise, the door is just like hanging open all the time. And if your following hasn't grown, then we need to be like, okay, well, maybe we need to modify the offer. It's tricky. It's tricky, but it's not tricky with one-on-one. But you want to know, I would say within 3 weeks of someone being exposed to the offer, then you could know if it's, within 3 weeks of being exposed to the offer, you know if they're down or not. And you want to find out why not as soon as possible. So there's a way to do it. You just have to, you do need to be able to close this launch for people. There's always going to be new people coming into the lead magnet. You can see how many people are waiting to receive it, but you need to incorporate some type of something. Right now, sessions are this much until this time. Right now, I'm doing this session, I'm focusing on this offering. You need to be able to close it up. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep slinging the same thing and it might not be something that people want. Gotta be able to close it down. My name's Gooey, 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 Gooey. My name's Gooey, my name's Gooey. My name's Gooey, 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 Gooey. My name's Gooey, my name's Gooey. My name's Gooey, 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 Gooey. My name's Gooey, my name's Gooey. Let's see how many more questions I have. Only 4 more left. Cool. Onami completing Fuckless and thrilled with the results. I made over 14 grand and the launch isn't even closed yet. Proud of you. Some of the big pieces were around not giving the work away for free and the brilliant email sequence. That email sequence saves a lot of trial and error for sure. Anyways, between Ritual and Fuckless, I feel really changed and I'm excited for wheels. The question is this, my next products are all really out there, not set passive vanilla, but big dream. Who do you think you are? Tiger Stripe, Fire, Bourbon Fire, Flavor. I just don't know where to start with the marketing of the big dream. Do I just tell my neutral in my newsletter? Do I launch it as an idea or does it need to be a fully fledged product? Great question. So I always let people know on the process. This is how I passively build authority in the space. So this is all that seed launching from Fuckless. Just start talking about it. This is what I'm learning right now. This is what I'm interested in right now. As many question stickers as you can, as much engagement in the comments as you can. You want to find out you want to find out the full range of this problem. It's not just something that you're working with, it's something other people are interested in as well. And especially if you're talking about something like sex, learning the limitations that you'll need, like learning the limitations of what you can and cannot post. You'll want to learn that before you start developing the product too big. The research period for me for erotic wealth, which was a super big dream, ended up taking 2 years. And in a way, I'm still in the research phase. I mean, not the research phase as far as what I had the curriculum perfect, but now I know that the curriculum is just too big. I need to slice it down to maybe 1/3 and do it live. So I'm always learning. The research is complete, but the learning isn't done. Are my teacher trainings compatible with an indigenous background? Does it work in tandem or on its own path? So it's mesoteric. It's what all religions and all spiritual lineages agree on. But if you're new to this type of work and honoring your indigenous roots is important to you, I would say definitely spend your money on working with indigenous healers first. People that, if staying true to your lineage is really important, then maybe invest in that lineage first. But if you feel like there's something in it, if you can't find, for example, an indigenous teacher teaching, online business or, whatever it is that you're interested in, you might just, the thing is like, there's no dupe for me. So the things I teach, nobody else teaches on. You can't get this anywhere else. And this is on purpose. This is why I teach what it is that I teach. You could learn from somebody that studied with me, and that's going to be what it is. But my criteria for a teacher, there's nobody that can dupe me. Like, even if somebody copied my exact catalog, what they bring to it is going to be different. So my criteria for a teacher is, have they been where you want to go? Do I have something that you want? Am I at a place that you want to get to, but you don't know the way? If so, big criteria. 2, do I speak a language that you can understand? Do you understand? Does it seem like I'm speaking riddles to you? Does it feel like word salad? If so, not the teacher for you. 3, can you afford it? $200 a month, can you afford it? Is it a price that works for you? This is the key. If a teacher meets that criteria for me, I will do whatever it takes to work with them. And a lot of times, like, I could barely afford something. It was barely, but I did it. So that's how we did it. Did I reach out to Soft White Underbelly? Yes, I did. Did I have to pay? No, they offered to pay me, and I said, save this. That guy gives a lot of money to a lot of people. He helps a lot of people out. While I was doing my Soft White Underbelly interview, it was almost distracting for me because he wasn't paying me his full attention. He was also like looking at his phone because people were blowing up his phone, asking him to send him money and stuff like that. Like, he's really like on like boots on the ground with what he does. He's a great, he was a really cool guy. He knows a lot, and he's been doing what he does for a long time. He's got, it's like the absence of compassion fatigue. He has realized over time that you can't just put money on people's problems and expect them to go away. He's a cool guy. But I did reach out to them because it was a placement that I specifically wanted, and I'm really proud of that. I've gotten quite a lot of book sales from that, so it's definitely paid for its own ticket and stuff. I don't fly economy like ever, so if somebody asks to pay for my ticket, I'm like, okay, well, it's got to be first class, And if it's with him, if it was somebody else, I would say, yeah, pay for my ticket and send me out. And, somebody that is professional in their field wouldn't even get you an economy ticket and expect you to go on it. But with Soft White Underbelly, I just believe in what he does. So I was like, look, like, you can put this money towards someone else. I'm happy to pay for it. Hi, what does leave this book in your bathroom mean? That's what it is. Leave this book in your bathroom. LTBIYB stands for leave this book in your bathroom. Okay. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, let's answer a few more questions. This is my little baby. We take walks together and we just hug. Would you agree with these examples of the centers? Can instinctive controlled be suppressing a sneeze or holding a poop until you're able to go, or is that more reactive still? Moving. Okay, let's see. So what this person is talking about, just for anybody listening, she's talking about the centers, which are an aspect of self-observation that we do in the 4th way. It's super key. Anytime you practice this, you are getting good at meditation. So instinctive controlled be suppressing a sneeze or holding a poop until you're able to go, or is that more reactive still? So I'm just going to work through these one by one. Yes, instinctive controlled would be able to do that. Also, like going into cold water without jumping out. Moving automatic, any action you don't have to think about, like locking the door out of habit. So automatic moving center is going to be walking down the stairs. You don't have to think about it. Moving controlled, successfully threading a needle every single time, yes. So these factors that she's talking about, automatic, reactive, controlled, these are the different stages that each center goes to. When every center is functioning in a controlled state, that's enlightenment. So automatic is the first one. It's just like the base things that you're stuck with. Reactive is in response to something, and controlled is you driving that car. Let me answer this person better. Okay. Intellectual controlled meditation. The stopping of thoughts. Emotional controlled waking up in a bad mood, but doing the work to change that. Yeah, or, you know, just genuinely not having a preference of how things go is better. So controlled is better is not getting in the bad mood in the first place because you just don't really care how things go. Would you say that the intellectual and emotional reactive centers are connected? No, but they each have higher faculties. Someone can say they're not connected. The centers are never connected. The centers are never connected. They're always separate. I hope that answers your question. We'll be going into the fourth way work. Come here, my little baby. I have a question for you. Do you want to have some boo-boo? If you're interested in that fourth way catalog, that's what we're going to be launching after Wheels Reinvented. And we'll talk all about that at that time. But that's a conversation that breeds a lot of questions and invites a lot of questions. And so what I want to do is make absolutely sure that I'm in that space when I'm having that conversation, because it's going to go on and on and on. Okay, so we have 2 more questions, but my baby is too fussy right now, so I'm going to answer those via voice memo. They're both business related, so I'm going to close this off here. I'll answer those last 2 questions. I want to thank you all so much for being here on Q&A. If you're going to be doing teacher training, make sure that you enroll this weekend. You want to be prepped for it. Like, you can play this fucking game with yourself. Am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Like, or just fucking decide. I'm not going to do this live training again unless something goes horribly wrong with this live training that I have to set right. But this is teaching something I've taught many, many, many times, like from the fucking get-go. So I'm not too nervous about it. But if you're gonna do a shit or get off the pot, like, don't play this game. You play this game with yourself if you have to, but don't play it with me, because we're starting school on Monday and you have a lot to catch up on. And I'm not gonna feel bad for you if you're like, yeah, I just spent a week like hemming and hawing about it. Could you not? You know, we're all adults here. Let's go to work. Okay, love you guys. Time for me to go. See you later.